Tia is reclaiming her time. She is, to me, a recovering people pleaser. And we see a lot at this episode of her reclaiming her time, getting her life back together with some bumps. And we got some deeper things to talk about. So we're going to get into it right about now from a therapist perspective. If you are new here, stay. Join the family. You love these videos. You like them. So why not stay? So I'm Denise Brady. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and we have been reviewing and recapping all of this season's episodes of Tia's My Next Act. And this season, will it be a season 2? I don't know. But let's get into it, why don't we now? Of course, Tia is still on her dating game. Okay. Now, I must admit that this man had a daughter because I totally thought that he was not interested in being a stepdaddy. But can you not be interested in a stepdaddy but still have your own children? Let me know in the comments. But she's still on her dating bag. She's trying to date this dude. They go on a second date. Yada, yada, yada. She's cupcaking in the bed. Now, do you think that this is real? Do you think that it's just for TV? And we all have said in the comments that we want Tia to heal. We want her to find herself, but through dating, I don't think any of us are really interested in seeing much that. We want to probably see her healing more and working on herself. And she talks a little bit about her childhood and how her childhood was very much controlled. I totally forgot that she grew up in a military family. And from what some of you guys have said in the comments, a very religious family. So you have those things. You have military background, religious family, kind of a controlled environment, trying to protect you from the things that most Hollywood kids grow up with. If you notice, Tia hasn't really grown up with a lot of any scandal, really. So I think it was good that her parents did that, but it relates to her being a late bloomer, her socially being awkward, a little quirky. And why can't we let Black girls be weird? Okay, we're not all the same. We're very much different people. There is a diaspora of the type of Black girls and Black women. So I like seeing her little quirkiness, her be herself. But you see how she didn't have a lot of socialization growing up, and how now that has affected her in showing up, and how she shows up in different friendships, relationships. But the biggest thing that's seeing her is that she's a people pleaser. And she's trying to get out of people pleasing. And that is, in some ways, her taking back her time, reclaiming her life, reclaiming her time. You have to think her whole life has been about people pleasing other people. People pleasing people in the industry, sometimes her parents, her siblings, being a wife, pleasing your husband. And I think for the first time in her life, she's like, I'm choosing Tia, and y'all hate that. Okay? Y'all hate to see her choosing herself, making time for herself, living her life on her own terms, and not needing a man. I think some of it is that people wish they had her life. Some of it is that also she's taking a chance on herself, and so many people are afraid to believe and take chances on themselves that when they see somebody else do it, oh, no, I don't like that. How can you do it and I don't? How can you make all these decisions, be brave, step out on faith, and I can't? Projection. Okay? People are projecting a lot of their own insecurities and things that they wish that they can do onto her. But as we move through this episode, there were some more serious things that came out. And I love the transparency that we are getting from her. Some of y'all probably think the show was boring because there's not a lot of drama, but you're getting real transparency of what it's like to go through a divorce, trying to heal from that. And the people who are like, she regrets getting her divorce. Okay. Tia wants Corey back. Okay. Do you understand divorce? Do you realize divorce and grief are a roller coaster? They're on this like spectrum. Some days you miss the person. Some days you're like, I am happy that I'm not with that person. Then the loneliness sets in. It is very much a spectrum of different feelings and emotions and grief. The things that you lose, you don't just lose a partner, you lose other things associated with that person, the friends, the family. And so you're not, when you think about getting a divorce from somebody, you're divorcing more than just the person. You're divorcing the life. And that comes with a lot of grief that people do not talk about, is walking away from relationships and everything tied to those relationships. You might break up with somebody, but y'all have the same friend group. You might break up and you lose business avenues, things like that. But there's a lot of grief that people are not talking about. And I work with so many women who are divorcing or thinking about divorce. And there's just so many different layers you have to think about. Whereas on the outside, people are like, why haven't you left yet? Just filing papers. It ain't that hard. It is. And the divorce process itself is very challenging. Okay. Try doing that on your own. And if you can't do it on your own, you have to hire an attorney, which is thousands of dollars to file the paperwork, to serve somebody, to have someone serve your ex, wait for them to respond to the paperwork. It is a lot, y'all. And I think on the outside, y'all looking in thinking like, oh, she just want to go back to Corey. It's not like that. Okay, but I digress. Let me get off of my soapbox on the comments and all y'all on the internet spinning this woman trying to live her life. Now, one important thing I really want to focus on is Black women getting tested for cancer. Now, every year in October in LA, at least, we have these vans drive around and offer free mammograms and free screenings. And I have tried to get one of those screenings, okay? But for some reason, the medical system feels like, oh, you're not 40 yet. You don't need a mammogram, okay? How many other people have tried to get a mammogram before the age of 40 and been denied? You're fine. But then I see people I know, we hear stories of people being 30, 31, 32, getting breast cancer and passing away, unfortunately. And I wish that as much as I see those vans around and I've made calls, I've tried to make appointments to be proactive, some of them are not open unless you're over 40 or unless you're in a certain income demographic. You can't get one of those free services. So I love that she's talking about it. She's being transparent because she could have easily cut out the scene where she got the call that they found something in her breast. Okay. And they wanted her to come in and do some further tests, a biopsy to see what it could be. And you see how, to me, it felt like a genuine scene of Sierra driving her around. Y'all know how I feel about Sierra. And she gets a call from her doctor saying, hey, we found something a little strange in your testing, so we want you to come in. That is a call like no woman wants. Okay, but to be brave enough to show it on TV, to be transparent and help somebody else. Okay, to help someone see that I too was afraid, I too was scared, but I went through with it. Okay, I went and got further testing, and ultimately we see her results at the end. But more women need to have access to testing. And then even when those vans come around, all the free services, only in October. Okay, how many people actually have access to them? How many people are actually able to get tested? Okay, so many of us don't have access to insurance. It's hard to find a doctor. And post-COVID, most of these doctors don't want to see you in person, or there's a wait list. Or nowadays, I'm hearing that some of these doctors' offices are adding some kind of $200, $300 admin fee just to get in. Okay, so as much as we talk about, breast cancer in the Black community or in communities of color, to me, there's not enough access, not enough information going around. We see a lot of focus in October, but after that, is it really around as much? And what about access? Just because I am not 40 does not mean that I don't want to be proactive and see what's going on with me and try and get services. So I want to know, in other states, other places, how they have the same thing happen. Is it something more in California? But I loved her transparency of her sharing her journey going through that process, because a lot of women forget. Life goes on. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make that doctor's appointment. 2 years later, oh yeah, I'll make that doctor's appointment. Yeah, but my kid got basketball. I got these bills. I can't miss work. I call somebody, they booked. Because y'all know, find a doctor, find a therapist is like a job. So I love the transparency there. I love how honest she's being about the whole process. A lot of people are not ready for honesty. That's why there's so much flack, negativity, hate. People hate a Black woman choosing herself. Okay, you're supposed to struggle. You're not supposed to be happy. I'm not happy, so why does she get to be happy? Okay, and the internet loves for people to hide behind the keyboard and just hate on this person, whoever it is. The keyboard allows you to do whatever you want. That little fake avatar you got gives you superpowers, okay? But we see her go on the date, And it's funny because I've had that same situation. It's something about kids. You know, you're going out, you get dressed. Where you going? Don't I pay the bills here? Okay? Ain't this my house? Yeah, that has happened to me also. But it was good to see her go on the date. Once again, can we see more healing, therapy, relationship with yourself? I want Tia to get to know herself today, the Tia today. And I think we get bits and pieces of that in the episodes, but more about her finding herself. You know, like she's not the same person she was 22 years ago when she met Corey. I don't feel like she's really had the opportunity in her life to really find herself. And imagine trying to find yourself, figure out who you are in your 40s. Okay? Because all of her life she has been attached to something, someone, and for the first time in her life, it's just Tia. Okay? But in this episode, it was great to just see her be transparent about her journey, her struggle, her childhood, all the things she missed out on. And from the outside, people are like, I wish I had that life. I was on TV, I was making money, I was famous. But she missed out on a lot of childhood. Okay, and I think she was very much sheltered, like she said. So now she's being this social butterfly in her own ways, but she's also struggling to figure out who she is. Okay, and I want to know, are some of you guys people pleasers? Are you recovering people pleasers? How is that showing up in your life? Do you recognize parts of Tia in yourself? Okay, but we have to talk more about access to breast cancer awareness, testing, the limitations of testing, and how sometimes you can go undetected because you didn't have access, you didn't remember to make the appointments. Okay, you're not 40 yet, so you don't need a mammogram. Okay, I can't be the only one that's happened to multiple times. But I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about this episode? Is Tia healing? Does the show her healing? Or are they just a bunch of scenes put together? Let me know your thoughts, because of course we can get into it. And make sure I'm offering memberships now, so we're gonna do some things next month. Actually, we're gonna start our book club. So if you had not become a member, we're gonna start our book club for the month of November. We'll be reading this book, so make sure you join the membership, because it will be members only for the book club, and this is gonna be our first book. Okay, but let me know your thoughts, because of course I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.